And we're going to start with 1.5 cups of Vital Wheat gluten. Okay. So oops. Okay, then 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast. Two tablespoons of tapioca flour. Zero salt, vegan chicken flavored bouillon. And I'm going to do 1 tablespoon. Just to give it that chicken flavor. That's about right. Now, 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Two teaspoons of garlic powder. Teaspoon of thyme. I'm going to take a teaspoon of peppercorns. Quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. This is a teaspoon of chicken seasoning. And let's do a quarter teaspoon of smoked paprika. And fennel tastes really good if you toast it. So here's what we're gonna do. Take a teaspoon, put it in a little saucepan, turn the heat up on high. And just kind of toast it in the saucepan until it starts to turn a little brown. You get little wisps of smoke. By the way, this is the rotisserie seasoning I use from McCormick's. They're starting to pop, actually. Okay, so we're going to take all the herbs, put them together. Mix them up. Okay, let's put everything in a coffee grinder. Looks good. Add it to the mixture. Good. Okay, we can blend this together a little bit now. So for the wet ingredients that we're going to put in the blender, we start with half a block of extra firm tofu. So we're going to try to cut this approximately in half. Looks about right. So put that in the blender. This is all vegan from soy protein, and it has a very meaty taste. Tastes like meat. 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2 tablespoons of sesame seed oil. Okay. Okay, now the recipe calls for maple syrup, but I don't have any of that, so I'm going to use honey to sweeten it, and we need 2 tablespoons. It's not so easy to do with one hand. Okay, now we're going to do three-quarters of a cup of salt-free vegetable broth. You can use water, but I think this just gives it a little more flavor. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Those are basically the wet ingredients. Okay, so now we've got all the wet ingredients in the blender. We're gonna go ahead and blend that up. Let's start combining. So this is the part that takes the most practice and experience, getting the right consistency, because you want this dough to feel kind of rubbery and springy. If it's too loose, then the sausages are going to be mushy. If it's too dry, you're going to have a hard time working with it, and it's just not going to be the right texture when you eat it. So I usually start off on the dry side, because obviously it's easier to add water or vegetable broth than it is to take away. I mean, what you can do, of course, is if it's too loose, then you just add more wheat gluten. It's basically the solution to that. Okay, so you kind of get it started with the spatula, and then we're going to move to the hands. Okay, so I washed my hands. I'm just going to go right in there and Just start mixing it all together. Okay. See if I've got any room in here. Excuse me, axolotl. Actually, we'll just put it up here for now. There we go. How's he doing? Hey, buddy. Oh, he ate all his worms. Okay, let's start boiling the water for the steaming process. Get that going. So we're ready to steam as soon as the sausages are rolled, which is what we're going to do next. It's time now to start rolling the sausages. So we just start with the ball that we have. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a special pastry cutter that I just got and try to figure out the halfway point and just kind of cut that in half like that. Yeah, okay. Good. And then we're going to cut these in half. I usually try to get about 8 sausages. So if we do half 3 times, we should end up with 8, right? Let's see. Okay. No matter how careful I am, they're never exactly the same. Oh well. At least you know they're made by a human being, right? Not by a machine. Okay. All right, good. Okay, so we should have 8 equally sized balls, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's about right. Okay, so now take a ball, just roll it into a sausage shape, right? That's about it. Okay, now I'm going to take a little parchment paper. You can skip the parchment paper and just wrap it in tin foil, but if you have a sensitive palate, you might start to notice the taste of the tin foil, which is not always a good thing. So I'm going to take this sausage, and as I'm rolling it, I'm going to spread it out just to try to get it more into a sausage shape. After about 1 roll, I'm going to use my cutting thing here to just kind of pull back to tighten it. So I want to try to make these as dense as possible. Otherwise it becomes too much like a pastry, like kind of like a bread. You get air inside of it, and you'll get these air pockets, and it makes it kind of fluffy, which we don't really like. Okay, so there you go. There's 1 rolled in parchment. Okay, now get this non-stick Reynolds wrap. Unfortunately, I'm going to use a lot of tin foil. So not the best for the environment, but hey, if there was a way to recycle this, yeah, I would do it. Okay, so we're going to roll again. Tighten that a little bit. Roll it up, and then we're going to pinch off the ends like this. Just kind of pinch and squeeze. And you go like opposite directions on each side, and that'll also help to tighten the sausage. Okay, so it should look like that. And then Put it in your steamer. If you have the right equipment, you can also use your Instapot. Okay, then we're gonna do that 8 times, all right? Okay, the sausages are all nicely rolled up, nice and tight. And put them in the steamer. They look like little astronauts. I don't know, for some reason I'm thinking about astronauts in suspended animation, about to go on a long interstellar journey. Okay. And we're gonna steam them for 1 hour. Okay, let's see how they came out. So, here we go. Let's unwrap one. It's always a little bit like Christmas when we get to this point. Unwrap your gift and see what you got. Okay. Smells pretty good. And look at that. Look at that. Amazing. Look at that. It looks just like a real sausage. It's got the right weight. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. Let's cut it in half. Nice and firm. Oh yeah. Look at that. Just like chicken sausage from the store. Look at this, the way it slices. This is perfect. Like I was saying before, you don't want it to get too loose so that you get air bubbles that form inside there. Then it becomes too much like a, I don't know, like a muffin type of consistency I've seen even. This is just right. It's nice and firm and tight. Yep. Let's taste it. Oh my gosh. Ha! Wow. I bet if you gave this to somebody, you wouldn't even have to put a blindfold on them because they wouldn't be able to tell by looking, but just tell them, taste this, what do you think it is? Well, obviously, it's chicken sausage. Perfect. Okay, mealtime. I've got some macaroni and just basically macaroni. I put some peas in there and diced up some garlic and onions and sauteed that, and some mushrooms, and I put this in here with some low sodium marinara sauce. And what I like to do then is just add the sausage like so. Yep. And put a little nutritional yeast on there in place of cheese. I mean, this stuff is like, tastes just like grated Parmesan cheese. Of course, it has no dairy in it. Top it off with a little chili sauce. Yeah, look at that. You're good to go. Amazing. Amazing.